Hi Jake, this is Joseph Bradley. I'm just going to do a journey for you today about dark fragments, how to integrate them, how to work with them. I have Metatron and Michael work with me today. I'm standing at a mountaintop. It's a place I usually go to start all these journeys. And there's many paths to go. Which one to choose? It's always a question, isn't it? Which path is the best to choose? You allow your body and mind to not think and allow your spirit to make the choice for you. Use your intuition, believe in yourself. So then you know which way to go. Pay attention to the minor coincidences, the things that might not seem important, but guide you to a specific choice. So the dark parts of yourself, I ask you a question. What do you think of the dark side of yourself? You look into it. Are you afraid of it? Or you're not afraid of it? It's a big question, isn't it? When you see the dark side of yourself, what do you see? You see demons, chaos, or you see love? In order to work with dark energies, you must see it as love. You must see the fragments of yourself as things that are trapped, spirits, entities that are trapped within yourself that need you to guide them back to the light so they can come back into balance. So how do you do that? Well, you believe that every dark energy in the world is deserving of love, no matter how hateful and hatred it has caused, what evil it has caused. You must look at them as lost souls trying to find their way back home but cannot see the light. So you must show them the light and show them love again, show them who they truly are. That's important, because if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to have a really difficult time trying to help your dark souls come back, because they will see into you. They'll see your fears. They'll see what you stand for. They'll see the love within yourself or the no love within yourself. So you must show them love. You must show them who they truly are, so they can come back to the light once more. The dark parts of ourselves were once the brightest parts of ourselves that chose to go into the darkness so we can learn, so the world can learn and move forward and be taught all the lessons that we've learned over thousands and thousands of years. But they get lost, broken, twisted from all our decisions and everybody else's decisions that influence them. So to the point where they can't see the light anymore, so they get trapped in internal chaos. So the only way to truly bring them back to the light is to show them who they truly are. And one of the ways of doing that is to take an orb in your hand of pure love and breathe in the memories of who that spirit used to be. You must believe in yourself, because yourself understands who they are and what they are. So when you give them that choice and they take that choice, they will properly become one with the light once more. So I have many choices to make, many different directions. So I choose to go in a circle, or do I choose to go in a direction? But what direction? You look in direction states as north, south, east, and west, and everything in between. But what of above and below and everything in between? So is darkness below our feet or above our feet? Is it to the left or is it to the right? You have to let your mind, your spirit guide you. Your spirit will guide you to where you need to go. Do not think. Allow your spirit to think and move fluently through you. You have a choice of which way to go. However, your spirit knows exactly where to go. So allow it to flow through you. Allow it to make the decision. So you go down, and the vortex below opens up, and I go down inside it. Go down really far. It breaks apart into many different directions. You split your spirit up so it goes and follows and runs through all the tunnels, moving so fast you can possibly know where to go. So you allow your the spirit to flow. Allow your spirit to know exactly what to do and where to go next. You end up in a room. All the pieces come back together again. It's a room of an old house. The walls are a bit twisted. It's very old. It's a condemnable place. The glass is broken in the windows. There is a child in the corner. Just look of fear, totally frozen, pointing to the other side of the room. I look at the other side of the room. There is an energy there. A black orb with legs. It turns into a horrible, deformed creature with wings, super overweight, walking towards the boy. The boy cannot move, it can just stand and point. The creature walks over to the boy and devours him. He does a loud burp, grotesque burp, and then walks back to the corner, turns back into an orb and floats in the corner. The boy reappears, again points horribly towards the direction. The creature walks back over again. This time does not This time he dismembers the boy and eats him. A little bit more gruesome this time. Again. So what do? Do you allow this to continue? Or do you do something about it? This boy is a soul fragment from you. The entity feeds off the boy constantly, devouring him in different ways. The boy is paralyzed with fear. So what do? Do you allow it to continue, or do you stop it? How do you stop it? That's the question, isn't it? How do you retrieve that part of yourself from this entity? Because the entity is also a soul. The bright parts, the brightest souls that are lost, trapped within the earth, trapped within you, trapped for eternity unless we allow it to come free, show it its way back home. So I take an orb from my chest and I blow energy into it. I blow who his true form really is. I blow into it and show the creature what it truly is. I step in front of it. I place the orb on the boy. Outstretched hand. He's still frozen. The creature walks over and stares at the orb. He looks over at me and then looks at the orb again. He goes to eat the boy, ignoring the orb. But as he eats the boy, something changes in the creature this time. It takes a step back, but it's frozen for a second, not able to move. I take my hand and I place it on the boy's forehead, and I place it on the creature's chest, the entity's chest. I send energy through me into the boy and into the creature. The orb has already attached itself to its heart. It's remembering who it really is. And the boy starts to move. I allow my energy to flow through myself into the boys, both boys. The boy starts to move and cry. I start to spin, both my hands still touching, my core spins. Energy flowing faster between both of them now. The creature turns into a child himself, bewildered, and the other boy looks, and it is like his twin, a lost brother that he has not seen in so long. They come together and they hug each other. They merge together as one. They both were a separate fragment, a fragment lost in time and space. Now they are one once more. I take an orb and I place it into the ground, an orb of golden fire. It burns this place, transforming it, growing vegetation, flowers throughout the whole place, eating away the darkness and replacing it with the most beautiful scene. Now the boy is standing in an open field. He starts to run after the butterflies, after the birds, and he runs and plays. And he stops and looks back at me. He runs over to me. I want to go home now, he says. I open the doorway to the right of him, and he runs through it. He looks back at me and smiles and jumps through. I'm back at the place again with many places to go. So where do you go next? I see where I go next. What do you see where you need to go next? Are you lost in confusion of so many just choices and so many places to go? What do you do? Where do you go? How do you find where you go? I don't know where to find. I can't find the way to go. I have to understand what to do next. But you already know what to do next. You go inside your heart and you realize that your heart has been talking to you all along, and you know exactly what to do next. I want you to go into the darkness with me. You take my hand and we walk side by side. Michael on the right side of you and Metatron on the left side of me. We walk into total darkness. What do you see? A black void? But what is in the black void? What do you feel? Do you feel love or do you feel fear? If you feel fear, the darkness would turn horribly bad. Most horrible, horrific nightmares will appear. But that's the wrong choice. If you think that darkness is full of love, then you'll see the most vibrant, beautiful colors you have ever seen. Greens and purples, reds, blues, pinks, white. You'll see it in the most vibrant colors. If you bring them to the light, they get washed out. You bring them into the darkness, the colors are pure, and they're so beautiful. When you look into the darkness, what do you see? Do you see love or hatred or fear? If you choose love, then you already have made the right choice, because it is full of love, the most beautiful love you could ever imagine. When you want to be at complete peace, you go into a room of total darkness with no sound or nothing, and you'll feel completely at peace with yourself. If you feel you're in there and it's full of hatred, chaos, and fear, then you must embrace it, and you must love it, because that's the only way to transform the darkness into love, is to embrace it, to love it, to understand it wholly, 100%. Do not second guess, because when you sleep at night, the darkness absorbs your fears. It heals you in ways that the light cannot. Dark and light work together as one. They are both beautiful, as long as you see them that way. If you've ever seen a beautiful Northern Lights display, you could understand how vibrant the colors can really be at night. But they only can be seen at night. You cannot see them in the daytime, only at night. So when you look into the darkness, what do you see? You see love, vibrant colors, and beauty. The twisted versions of darkness are from us. This is not the right choice. Darkness is not evil. We make it evil. We twist the darkness to do our own bidding. When you walk into a dark room, if you think of fear, fear will fill the darkness. If you fill it with love, love will fill the darkness. It is a choice. But when you make that choice, you'll start to understand exactly what you need to know. It is beautiful. When you walk into a dark room, the space that we're in now together, you'll see that you get brighter, your soul gets brighter and brighter, because the dark parts of yourself that you cannot heal with the light are healed in the darkness. And you get brighter as the darkness comes out of you. The darkness will transform it, absorbs it in ways that the light cannot. So to heal in the darkness and the light is to be completely healed 100%. There's nothing to fear. Fear does not exist. So the question is, where do we go next? I go left. It seems to be the right way to go. When I walk left, there is a slide that goes straight down. So I go down the slide, and I do know the spikes at the end of this. So you stop before you hit the spikes. They can't really hurt you anyway, but you don't need to hit the spikes. You can walk above them. And you walk above them. The spikes everywhere now, as far as I can see. So I don't touch the spikes, I just continually walk into the darkness. There is a light up ahead, a bright light. So I go towards the light. There is a man standing there with a sword in his hand, stuck into the ground, rigid, unmoving. He asked me a question. He asked me why I'm in here. I'm here because Jake has asked me to come and help him with this wisdom, the wisdom of his dark fragments, to understand how to embrace them, how to move forward, how to not fear them, how to transform them back to himself. The spirit just stands there, and the whole area shakes violently, and the darkness shatters and the glass shards all around us. He doesn't even move, he just stays frozen, looking straight ahead. But now the area is full of flames, lava, but also flames. There's a place of fire now. But the fire does not burn you, only if you think it does. So you walk through the flames. So why don't you have the flames transform yourself? Turn the flames from hot, boiling flames to golden light that transforms yourself and burns away the dark parts of who you are, the twisted versions of yourself. So when you come out the other side of the flames, you're glowing with golden light. You have transformed a part of yourself by walking through the flames. It burns away, again, parts of yourself, as long as you believe it does. It's all in the belief in who you are and what you are. It is a choice. The flames could burn you or they can transform you. Again, that is a choice. I am glowing a golden color now from the golden flames. The area is not in flames in this spot. It is a bit wet, damp. As I walk forward, it gets damper and damper. I look down and I touch the ground. And it's now quite wet. The ceiling is dripping. It is dark. It's like a dark blood. It is okay, because there is no fear unless you believe there is. So nothing can hurt you, so you continue to walk forward. You walk forward into the darkness. There is a strange creaking sound here now. A very strange creaking noise. Something like an old, squeaky rocking chair would make. I continue to walk forward up the staircase. It's a narrow staircase. I can touch both sides of the wall as I walk up the stairs. The walls are damp to the touch. There is an old door there. It is cracked. I touch it and it falls apart. It crumbles to the ground. There's a couple of bats fly out. I continue to walk forward. I shine a little bit of light in this area. I just make myself a little bit brighter. It illuminates the area. The area looks like water with a little bit of blood on the top. But it's definitely much wetter here. Probably up to halfway up my knees. I continue to walk and it gets deeper. It's up to my chest now. I continue to walk until I get totally submerged in the water. I'm walking in the light. There is a really panic feeling in this place. Really panicky. But do not let the panic take over your mind and body. Relax. It is not, it's only fear. There is no fear. Allow it to subside. Allow the feeling of fear to go away from you. And continue to move forward. There is a woman here. Old, ragged. She is not what she seems to be. She moves very quickly up and disappears above. I go upwards and I go up out of the water. and I fly upwards, and I follow her. She's moving very, very quickly and slams through a door, or smashes through the door, I should say, another creaky door. Has a gut-wrenching scream coming from her now as I follow her very rapidly through this place. But I need to do this, it's important. It's what I feel like I need to do. And she stops and I stop and we stare at each other. She looks surprisingly messed up, evil, corrupt, twisted, but she is not. Something else is here. She is showing me where it is. She points down, and there is an old rocking chair going up back and forth with cobwebs, not on the rocking chair, but all around the floor. And there is bodies in this place, lots of bodies. So these are soul fragments lost in this place. And so is she. She disappears. She was here a very long time. She is trapped in this place like all your fragments are as well. The rocking chair is facing backwards. I cannot see what is rocking it back and forth. I can see there is someone on there. As I walk closer, the bodies on the floor, I'm stepping over them, but I decide to go above them instead. It is a bit creepy in this place, but again, there is no fear. Do not have fear in your heart. I come around to the front, and there is an old twisted woman, much worse than the other one. Sometimes you see things that are better left unsaid. Better left unsaid. She pushes the body in front of her onto the ground and she stands up. She looks upwards and eyes appear all over the ceiling, all over the walls, in every direction. And they all come at me at once. They are very close to bats, but they have quite different than bats. They have almost like their drills. They spin. And so do I. And it causes a massive white light appear from me and super fast and super bright. And I deflect everything and it's kind of like I create bits like crystals that stick into them and basically put them up against the wall in the chamber, stuck there, not able to move. The old lady, the twisted, tall version, long claws, just staring at me. She's not very happy at all. So what do you do in this situation? There is bodies everywhere, parts of yourself. This version, twisted version of a creature, lost to her inner hatred. What do you do with her? Do you allow her to exist? Do you have the right to even make that choice? Do you even know who she is? I do. She is very powerful, but very lost. I create another orb and I blow her memories into it of who she really is. She speaks. She knows who I am, as I know who she is. She speaks of you. that you will not be released from her. I will keep these parts forever. I will continually to enjoy myself with them. I'll continue this for as long as I choose. But do you remember who you are? I do not care who I was. I like it here. I like doing these things. I like manipulating him in ways he never thought I could. The slight pins and pricks and twists and movements in the dark. The subtle play, the subtle game I have with him. He never truly sees who I am. He never truly sees my true self. But you do not remember who your true self is. I do. Do you wish to see it? It is in this ball of light. I throw the ball of light at her, and she stops it in midair. It falls onto the ground. Not that easy with me, is it, Joseph? I did not say it would be. But you forget that the ground is now lined with platinum. This room is lined with platinum now. You cannot go anywhere. You're here with me. The creatures that once were by your side are no longer here. They're on the other side of this wall, this room that I just created. She tries to break free, frantically clawing at the platinum, and she cannot go anywhere. She charges at me, but she hits a wall, an invisible barrier. She knows she cannot penetrate it. So she relaxes again. She is very calm, but full of hate. She likes to manipulate things in a subtle way. She gets unbelievable, very, very, very strange things. She gets joy out of them. The manipulating, the twisting, the hatred. She enjoys it. She loves it. She takes thrill into the torturing mayhem, lust, pleasure. Pleasure. The pleasure of it all, she says. The pleasure of the torture. The pleasure. I will stop at that. You do not need to speak anymore. It does not do us any good. So again, I give you the opportunity to take a look within yourself. Are you afraid of it? She squeals at me. She is not afraid, she says. So why don't you look into it then? I just see within her heart there is a small fragment of light. I go inside her heart as I still talk to her on the outside, and I touch it with just a little bit of light. Just a tiny little bit, and it sparks back at me. Just a pulse. And she touches the orb. Just gives her an instant. A thought, a change of thought. for that instant, allows her to touch the orb. She touches the orb and it starts to go, because when she touches it, she cannot let go of it no matter how hard she tries. She starts to panic and she touches with both hands to try to get it off, but now both hands are stuck to the orb. The light is going into her arms, into her heart, into her mind, into every part of her soul. She starts to spin, and the energy is chaotic, and the squealing and the screams slowly start to subside. I also fill her with love from the inside and the outside. I allow her heart to start to beat again, to burst, to beat with love from the inside as well as the outside. She spins faster this time and more fluently, more perfectly. The light gets so bright, wings explode from her back, and she spins faster and faster. The energy changes. Now from black and white, there is just blue light, the most powerful blue light, beautifully vibrant, fluorescent blue light, and it explodes. I feel the energy wave pass through me, and she's a ball of light, so vibrant from the chest area. The whole area lights up, and grass instantly starts to grow everywhere. Flowers, trees. She's standing now above the ground, hovering. The massive wings. The blue light is so intense. The flowers grow out of all the bodies that were here, and light gets shot up into the air, back into heaven, continuously for a few seconds, and they slow down. She looks back at me, and she smiles. I will remember this day, Joseph. And Jake, I'll now be by your side. I'll help you do the things that you want to do. Explore the dark sides of yourself. So you will not be afraid. You will understand that the darkness itself is full of so much love. I have been freed of a prison which felt like 1,000 years, but it's also just a blink of an eye. A split second has come and gone, and I have been freed because of you and Joseph. But it's you that has freed me, Jake. You have freed me, and I thank you for that. So, Jake, where do you go from here? I will be always by your side. I'll guide you through the darkest parts of who you are, to continue to help in the light and into the dark, because as love flows, it must flow from both light and dark. Do not spend too much time in the darkness. If you do, spend equal times into the light, always balancing yourself, always filling yourself with love from both dark and light. See, Jake, I was a twisted form, a hag. I hated everything and everyone, and I caused you so much pain and suffering. But it brought you to this moment, where now I am free and I could show you what the most beautiful love can be, because I remember who I am now. I remember exactly who I am. I am the angel of light, but I also have the dark parts of myself. They have come back into balance. It makes me so much stronger, as it will make you so much stronger. Because there's no fear, Jake. Once you accept the dark parts of who you are and love and embrace them, nothing, no fear, no fear. It is that easy. Because the dark parts of yourself are full of love. God has put love in both the darkness and the light. We just forgot that the darkness was love, as the light is love. They both have an equal play, an equal space. They heal us equally. Without one, everything falls out of balance. So when you have both, you have balance within yourself. You have the ability to go within yourself and heal the darkest parts of who you are. Because when you do that, you'll rise higher and feel lighter and happier and more in balance than you ever thought possible. So what do you choose to do? To stay in a circle not knowing where to go? Or do you just choose to move in the direction that your heart tells you to? Face your fears and walk forward in life, or stay forever trapped inside a circle with no way out. That is your choice, Jake. But you already know what to do. Okay, Jake. Oh, it's taking me a minute to refocus again. So my friend, I hope this helps. I hope this helps, Jake. I allowed some of your light spirits, your light fragments to come back to you, the dark fragments I should say, to come back to you. It gives you an idea what it is you will face and understand. But remember, fear, there is no fear, and darkness is love. That's how you transform it, Jake, is with love. God told me that He put more love in the darkness than He did into the light. And when we discover that, you will discover parts of yourself. You'll discover love more profound. And you will accept things and understand things in a level you never thought possible. When I see a dark entity, I see a reflection that has been twisted by mankind's greed, hate, war. So as every time you heal that part of who you are, that part of someone else, the world releases that energy and becomes more imbalanced. Every man, woman, and child vibration rises just a little bit. But if everybody does this work and loves the darkness instead of hating it, the world would change overnight. Thank you very much, Jake. And this is Joseph Bradley from Amun Ross, one of the voices. Thank you very much, Jake. Have a good day.